Man, we finally did it, man. It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and we finally got Terry McLaurin locked down for at least the next 4 years. It's a 3-year extension, and man, I'm so excited. That's a huge relief, man. That's so much weight off my shoulders. I'm pretty sure that's a lot of weight over a lot of our shoulders in the Washington Commander fan base, man. That is huge. I mean, first of all, now we don't have to worry about whether or not he's going to skip training camps and things like that. And then the timing of it, how soon it was. I mean, of course, we would have preferred for it to happen before he was skipping mandatory mini camps. But again, I mean, there was all of this worry that it may go all the way to training camp type of thing. And training camp doesn't start till July 26th. They got it done June 28th. So shouts out to Ron Rivera for that, because he kept saying that they are going to sign him. And he kept saying it with confidence. First of all, because of the player on the field. Second of all, for reputation. Ron Rivera actually addressed that we need to build our reputation and make it a good one. If we can't sign Terry McLaurin, who can we give good money to? If we can't give Terry McLaurin what he deserves, when can we give that to a player? So of course, free agents on other teams and who are currently on the team, we're looking at the Terry McLaurin situation like Washington Commanders. If y'all don't pay him, why would you even pay me? Terry McLaurin's the model player on and off the field, done everything right. So if he can't get the money that he deserves, who can? And man, I'm just so happy, man. But before we dive in the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification immediately. And every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Coming with a lot of content. Right now, I'm working on film sessions for the rest of the rookie class. I've only got a couple of done, and I still need to do some undrafted free agents as well. So make sure you go become a channel member for that. And then I have so much content ready for everybody, even outside of my channel members. So man, stay tuned. Without further ado, let's get it. Man, I literally just looked up, just happened to look up and saw the Washington Commanders and wide receiver Terry McLaurin have come to terms on a contract extension per source from Ben Standig. And man, I literally didn't believe it at first. I was like, nah, no way, not today, not June 28th. Again, with all of the worry, with all of the stress, thinking that it may not happen, first of all, at all, or at the very earliest until right before training camp, pulling the Jonathan Allen, getting them signed the morning of, trying to stress us out all the way through. They were like, nah, let's get our guy signed. And like I've been saying, it's been confusing as to why it didn't get done sooner. And I'm not, I'm really happy that it got done, but I've been saying it wouldn't affect this year's cap space. So like, were they just trying to figure out an exact money? It wasn't about the amount of money that we have in cap space in 2022. It's about 2023 and beyond. And I guess it finally took for them to agree on a number and get the job done. But man, like I said, I'm really happy it's done, man. I looked up and saw that Ben Standig tweet. I was so confused. And then I went to Adam Schefter. I was like, all right, so Adam Schefter's probably said something. He said Commander Terry McLaurin is signing a 3-year extension worth up to $71 million in new money that places him amongst the NFL's top 5 highest paid wide receivers, deservingly so. Buddy Baker and Tony Bonagura of Executive Sports Group finalized the deal today with Washington SVP Rob Rogers. So shouts out to all of those people who played a part, man. The 3-year extension for Terry McLaurin includes $28 million signing bonus, the largest given to any wide receiver, and also has a 76.4% of the new money in the deal guaranteed. The deal contractually ties the 26-year-old McLaurin to Washington through the 2025 season. So through 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. We have him for the next 4 seasons, including this one. Again, it's a 3-year, $71 million extension, man. I'm so happy. I mean, for the guy that's found a way to average 1,000 yards per season since he's come here, as a 3rd-round pick, going through 8 different quarterbacks, and that's not even 8 quarterback changes. We're talking about 8 quarterbacks, period. Remember, some quarterbacks would start, something would happen, they would play bad, or they would get hurt, so another quarterback would play, and then we'd go back to that first original quarterback that I was talking about. So it was more than 8 changes. It just happened to be 8 names total attached to it. You even had Logan Thomas throw a pass one time because I think it was Alex Smith couldn't throw it far enough for that play to work. So Terry McLaurin's been going through it, man. He's been doing the most with the least. You can definitely argue out of the top 10 receivers, even top 15, If you have Terry McLaurin in your top 15 and not your top 10, I can definitely understand that. But all of those other guys have great quarterbacks. Allen Robinson and DK Metcalf are the only guys I can think of off the top of my head that have been going through it. And that's if you consider them top 15 wide receivers. And DK Metcalf didn't have a bad quarterback situation until this previous season. And I guess Deebo Samuel as well. Outside of that, Devontae Adams has always had Aaron Rodgers. And hey, I'm not taking anything away from those guys. Those guys are dogs. Jamar Chase has Joe Burrow. Tyreek Hill had Pat Mahomes, and so on and so forth. We're still questioning whether or not Terry McLaurin has a good quarterback situation. I mean, I believe in Carson Wentz, and I really hope he balls out because we really need him to. But he hasn't even caught a pass from Carson Wentz yet. And they haven't even had time to practice yet together. So we're not even sure about that yet. But just to add to the list, Phil Yates tweeted out, wide receiver deals this offseason include Devonta Adams for 5 years, $142 million. Tyreek Hill, 4 years, $120 million. AJ Brown, 4-year, $100 million. Stephon Diggs, 4-year, $96 million. Cooper Kupp, 3 years, $80.1 million. Terry McLaurin, 3 years, $71 million. DJ Moore, 3 years, $61.884 million. And Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, 3 years, $60 million. And I'm assuming Terry McLaurin went for a 3-year because maybe we weren't offering him as much money as he wanted. Maybe he wanted like somewhere 26 plus. And so he said, okay, I'll take a little bit less, but I'll do it for a shorter deal so I can capitalize on it sooner and get way more money within the next 4 years. And I understand that strategy for him, man. Trying to get as much money out of it as he can. He probably came with a huge money, and then Rivera and company were like, man, we want to pay you as much as we can, but you know, how are we going to pay other people? You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely see, I mean, this is just me thinking out loud. Hypothetically, I can see him saying, okay, I'll take a little less money, but on a shorter deal so my deal can end sooner and I can capitalize on big time money way sooner. It's crazy too, because if you actually look at like the details of the deal, he'll technically be making more real money than even Devontae Adams. But hey, man, we got the deal done and I'm very happy. I don't care about how much we spent. I don't personally think we overspent. I'm just happy to have him signed, man. And we don't have to worry about Terry McLaurin until the end of 2025. Thank you. The only problem I have is with how short the deal is, but again, like I've already said, as to why Terry McLaurin probably went with a deal that short. But just some fun stats. First of all, last season he had 25 contested catches, the most in the NFL out of any receiver, period. Out of all those top receivers, he had the most contested catches, and he's a great route runner. He's a great separator. That just shows how bad the quarterback situation was. Love Taylor Heineke, love everything he did for us. But hey, man, Terry McLaurin definitely deserved better. Also, look at Terry McLaurin's success route trees, man. This is elite. This is elite. This is of like top 8 wide receiver quality. This is ridiculous, man. In the color green, yellow, and he doesn't have any oranges or anything or any reds, but that's based on the average. So even though his corner route success is a 62.5, that's green because that's way better than the average wide receiver, where his comeback rate is a 70.8. That's a yellow because that's only slightly better than the average receiver. But everything else he's completely elite at. Different. Another stat, just 62.7% of Terry McLaurin's targets were catchable last season. That was the lowest rate of all receivers with 100 plus targets last season. I mean, I'm telling you, Terry McLaurin was literally doing the most with the least. And even so, like if we just had Taylor Heineke for the past 3 years since we drafted him, at least it would have been consistency with the lack of great quarterback play. But he's had inconsistency and then had to deal with all of that last year. Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, Colt McCoy, Case Keenum, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Garrett Gilbert, and now Carson Wentz, man. And I'm probably going to do another video where I break down a lot of the crazy advanced stats he had, but I just wanted to provide those just to show you that, man, he's been getting it out the mud. He deserves every penny, and I can't wait to see what he looks like with Carson Wentz. First of all, he's never had a running mate. I mean, we signed Curtis Samuel to be that, but he wasn't able to stay healthy at all last year. I think last year Terry McLaurin had 1,000 yards, and the next closest anybody that had in receiving yards was, I think, J.D. McKissick with like 300. Like, that's ridiculous. So now if Curtis Samuel's healthy, Jahan Dotson is as good as we think he will end up being. Terry McLaurin should be so open now without defenses literally focusing to stop him, always running some type of shell coverage over him, double teaming him, literally trying to game plan him out the game, and he's still finding a way to get 1,000 yards with inconsistent, at best you could say average quarterbacks. At the very best, that's the biggest compliment I can give the assortment of quarterbacks he's had to deal with since he's been here. So I'm so glad, man. I mean, again, you're not supposed to pay guys for what they did. You're supposed to pay them for what they're going to do. But Terry McLaurin's been through so much, and he's still relatively young. I think you need to pay him a little bit extra on the top for what he's had to deal with and how professional he's been to the media, just off the field, doing everything right, saying everything right. You had to give him a little bit more for what he did. Of course, you're paying him most of this money for what he's going to do, and I think he's going to ball out because, again, now he finally has distractions. Also, in Carson Wentz, he's going to be inconsistent. I already know that, but he at least has an arm to at least threaten teams deep down the field, which is going to open things up underneath. And again, he has running mates finally in the receiver room. Overall, I think the offense is going to be more balanced run game wise as well. So Terry McLaurin should be open way more. He should not be leading the league in contested catches. Even if he leads the league in yards, he should have way less contested catches than he had last year. At least I'm hoping. Also, us as Commander fans, we need to be really excited that we got this deal done before Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and all of those guys get their deals, because the price is only going to go up and up and up. After Terry McLaurin just got what he's gotten, Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf are more than likely going to ask for more. Of course, I mean, whether you feel like they're better or not, you're paying what the market value is, not necessarily how great the player is. Just because you pay DK Metcalf more money than Terry McLaurin got, that does not necessarily mean DK Metcalf is the better receiver. I mean, Christian Kirk is out here making more money than the majority of the league as far as receivers go. It's just what the market dictates, man. And somehow paying them $23.7 per year after what AJ Brown got is less than what AJ Brown got. Man, this is a true win-win for us. And again, how Terry McLaurin wins is that his contract ends sooner than you'd expect, so he'll still be in his prime and he'll be able to go and get even bigger money when his contract ends. So it's definitely a win-win for both sides. We stall it for another 3 years on top of what he already has going for this season, and he gets to hit the market once again well into his prime, in his peak. Man, like I said, it could have been way worse if we waited until after Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf got paid, if they're going to get paid. Because now after Terry McLaurin's got paid and AJ Brown got $25 million, even more than what Terry McLaurin just got, I know Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf are looking like, at the very least, it's got to be what Terry McLaurin just got. And so who knows, maybe they'll end up on a different team because their respective teams aren't willing to give them at the very least what Terry McLaurin just got today. So, man, I'm glad that's not our problem anymore, man. Whoo-wee. But yeah, man, I'm just so excited, man. I'm so relieved. That's the biggest word. I mean, of course I'm excited, but I mean, that's a huge weight off of our shoulders as a fan base. I'm so excited, man. But definitely get in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about this Terry McLaurin deal. Also, please leave a like on this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. And man, I appreciate all the support, man. Shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors, whose name you see scrolled on the screen right now, man. I really appreciate y'all. Catch y'all later. I'm out.